Hello! What's up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and during this quarantine situation that we have going on, I decided to make a list. A list where I review 100 films that I've never seen before. Like, I watch them for the first time, and then I review them. And so, look, I don't even know if I'm going to get through all 100 movies. It's just an idea I had, something bored. I'm so bored. It's something to do while we're locked up, and Netflix just so happened to have this particular film. I'm talking about Zodiac. Zodiac is a 2007 film directed by David Fincher, and it's kind of weird that I've never seen this movie because I love David Fincher movies. I've seen a lot of them, but not all of them, I guess, because then I just was scrolling through and saw this, and I said, what a better film to start this list off with. It's based on the true story of the Zodiac killer that I was aware of. I remember hearing about, reading about. It's pretty trippy. This takes place between like the mid to late 60s and even into the 70s, where this killer was going around doing what he does. We get Jake Gyllenhaal, who plays Robert Graysmith. Robert Downey Jr. is in this. Mark Ruffalo. They're all either reporters or detectives who are trying to figure out the identity of this guy, who he is, why he's doing it, how to stop him. And it's a thriller. It really is. It was intense. I really enjoyed this movie. Let me just say that right off the bat. I enjoyed it. It was serious in tone. Right off the bat, the first scene, you see this young couple get killed, murdered, shot to hell by this mysterious guy. You don't see his face. Every time they do show a murder that he commits, you don't see his face. He is very much a figure lurking through and doing what he does. And it's fascinating because not only do you have such great actors portraying these people who are obsessive, who are trying what they're doing, but when you realize that this is a guy that the movie's not following him at all, this killer. The movie's not, we don't know his identity, really. We have some hints, but like in real life, they never really caught him. So you're following these characters reacting to every kill, reacting to every murder. He writes letters to the investigators and it's basically like, haha, this is me, and I got away again. And here's all these details that only a killer would know because this isn't public. And so watching that, watching how far ahead he is to them, and hopefully seeing them get closer and closer to him, and seeing how he reacts to that. You have Jake Gyllenhaal, like I said, who I just rewatched Prisoners right before watching this. And we already know this, of course, but to go back to back like that, you see just how much of a chameleon he is, how different he is in each and every single movie. He's really good here. I'd say the first half, he's not, I don't want to say in the background, but it's the last half of this movie where he really shines and where he really shows. It's him going crazy, trying to find this guy, trying to find any clues, any slip-ups that this killer could have gone. You see how much of a toll it even takes on his marriage. The actress Chloe Sevigny, who I remember from American Horror Story, but I was also trying to remember like what movie do I really know her from. American Psycho. She's his assistant that he almost kills. Really good actress. You see the two of them meet and date and then married, but then the fall of that relationship because, again, he's obsessed. Robert Downey Jr. is in this movie. This is 2007, a year before Iron Man. So, look, Downey was obviously well known, at least in the Hollywood community. He had been acting forever. People knew who he was, but he wasn't A-list. He wasn't that top-level act yet. And just 1 year later, he blows up. And it's funny because you're looking at him now, and usually he was clean-shaven before this, but he has the Iron Man beard. He has the Tony Stark beard. He's looking the way he's about to look now from the rest of his career that we see today. So it was interesting. He had some moments of some comedic stuff, but for the most part, he's just this guy who's almost taunting the Zodiac. He's writing articles about him, calling him a latent homosexual, and sort of that puts the killer on his radar, on his target. So I enjoyed that. Mark Ruffalo plays a detective who he's a good actor. Mark Ruffalo. He seems like a guy who is doing the best that he can. He's also having to deal with people like Robert Downey leaking information out to the public, which is making his job worse. And whenever I see Mark Ruffalo, I always feel nice inside because he just seems like a good, genuine dude. I'm not sure if I can ever see a movie where he plays a villain. Maybe he has. Somebody let me know if Mark Ruffalo's ever played a bad guy in a movie, but he always comes off as a real, genuine dude. He does that here as well. And some of the other actors, you have Brian Cox, who it's always good to see him too. Donald Logue, who every time I see him, I always feel like he has the beard and dressed a certain way. This time, it took me a few seconds to tell who he was because he was cleanly shaven and he was wearing suits and whatnot. I don't know, just an observation. And Elias Koteas, who I'm sure most of you know that name from playing Casey Jones in the 1990 Ninja Turtles movie. It was great to see him. I mean, I know he's like a sheriff in this town, and so he's just working with these investigators in that way. He doesn't do a whole lot, but he's there in a decent amount of time, enough for me to say every time he was on screen, "It's Casey Jones!" Looks very different now, obviously. If I were to give any sort of criticism, or not even bad, because I don't think this movie's bad at all, but it is very long. It is well over 2.5 hours, and there is a point maybe towards the middle and end where there's not as much kills, there's not as much reacting to the killer because he's been dormant. It's more just watching them investigate and interview and go from house to house and go to all these places, and it's still enjoyable, or it's still entertaining, it's still fascinating to watch, but I did get a little tired given the time of night that I started watching this. Maybe that's on me. It is a very long movie though. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you too have seen Zodiac. What do you think of it? Do you like it? Do you love it? Thanks for watching. I already have a list of movies that I plan on reviewing in my 100 movies to watch for the first time series, if you want to call it that. But if you do have suggestions, I'm open. I'm willing to see what it is. Maybe I'll rework my list, or maybe I already have them on. I'm curious. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!